Above 500.
Hey, football head, your commissioner here. Oh, shit. Excuse my language. Tim Dowling, joined by Vice Commish Alex McCauley. It's playoff time.
Yes, sir.
We might have the secretary showing up late, as he always does. He's
always
such a
late
slacker. And then, of course, the voice of God doesn't want to show his face. Minister of Media, Max Fosberg, producing the show. I'm sure we'll have some renegade league members popping in here, but I mean the power rankings are done. It's playoff time. I got no the power rankings are kind of like my prediction. I feel like kind of like where I think it's going to shake out, and I didn't have to change them the last like month. So I had Lou like jump quite a bit. He's won a bit, but like most of the top six has stayed the same. So yeah, I mean, we got the playoffs are set. 6 out of the 12 teams are in. We got 2 bye weeks for the first 2 seeds, and yeah. Oh, here we go.
On cue.
Right on time.
Always. A Wizards
How's
never
it going,
late.
man?
I'm great. Living the dream in the loser bowl.
For the brand.
Can't wait to beat you this weekend there, Stan.
I don't think so. You're not beating me. Derek would be beating me, but I don't think he will either.
Oh, you got him to show his face.
Showed his face. Hey, can you pull up the playoff bracket and get that up so we can just kind of recap who's in and who's out?
So these are the matchups for this week.
These are the matchups. I want to see isn't there a playoff understandings? And then playoff bracket. There we go. There it is. Okay, well, the Andy Stack has been the number 1 team for the last like 2 or 3 months. Leading with who the hell's even on that guy's team?
Raheem freaking Mostert.
Yeah, Raheem Mostert.
I don't know who's his wide receivers. He's got Keenan. No, that's on that Collins team. Producer, can you click on Andy Stack for me? Are you following along? Thank you, sir.
Justin Fields, Alvin Kamara.
Right.
That's where it's at.
Kamara.
Ayuk. Raheem
It's
Mostert.
the Bears.
Kyren
The
Williams.
Bears stack. The Bear stack of Fields and DJ Moore.
It's a team that on paper
doesn't.
Yeah, but it's a team that on paper doesn't scare you, right?
No, but the only player that like ultimately is going to get his is Alvin Kamara. I mean, hands down, the last 5 years he's a top 5 back every year, and other than that, I mean, he struck gold with Kyren Williams. DJ Moore had to change of scenery. We all know he was good, but he's still a flash in the pan.
Struck gold with Mostert as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just lightning in a bottle was captured by the Andy Stack this year. It seems like nothing can stop him. He's only lost 3 games all season. He does have a bye week this year, but he's the obvious favorite. I mean, he still has Eckler on the bench, who's had a down year, but Eckler was the number 1 running back last year. So we could see Eckler coming along down here in the next 3 weeks in resurgence.
Yeah, I know what Morgan's about to say. It'll be interesting to see what that San Diego offense, that Los Angeles offense looks like now without Justin Herbert.
Yeah, and Staley already said we're going to roll with the hot hand and give the ball to Kelly a little more.
They hate us because they ain't us. Andrew.
Hate us because they ain't us. There he is. Well, it would just make his wet
with
dream
his tiny cock award.
It looks like it.
His Rooster Racing Award, yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, he's got to be the hands down favorite to win the league, but I don't know if his team can pull it off. I don't trust his team enough.
Well, we've rarely had the 1 seed ever win. What is this? Is a memorial,
Yeah,
a
is this your
tribute to this
screen?
guy?
Yeah, is this like a shared file or something?
This is
that
what he
you
has
guys keep?
planned.
He wanted to. He just wanted to send some photos over to get you guys used to him holding a trophy and what his
Was
day
Ryan
will
supposed to be his trophy in that last picture?
be. Yeah, his day will be like when he wins the ship. He continues to talk a lot of shit about this league. It's a stain. It's a stain on this league.
We will see. We will see what happens.
Yeah, we'll
Obviously,
see
he
how
only
the
has
playoffs
to.
treat you.
Yeah, obviously he only has to win 2, so that's a lot. That cuts the pie in thirds right there. He only has to win 2, when folks like myself and a few others have to win 3 if we want to shot at the belt. And so he's got a leg up there. He's earned the bye. But yeah, anything can happen in the playoffs. It's one and done, obviously.
I mean, let's take a look at his schedule. Go up and click on schedule. No, go down.
I feel like we've
It's
finally figured out the
schedule.
losers bracket, but now as
Yep.
far as the winners bracket goes, I'm so confused on whether or not he will play the lowest remaining seed in round 2, or will he automatically play in the bracket
No,
that's
scroll down.
under him right
Just
now.
look at
The bracket that's
the
under
lineup.
him.
Just look at the lineup.
That's how the losers
Thank you,
bracket
thank you,
goes.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, the Fields has got a good. I mean, Arizona, Atlanta, Kamara against the Rams in Tampa Bay. 49ers, they got a tough matchup against Baltimore in Week 16.
Mostert
Miami
against the Cowboys run defense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This might be a big test for him matchup-wise. We'll see. Good job on the 1 seed. I don't know if any 1 seed's ever won it, but our producer could probably tell you something about winning the regular season and flopping in the playoffs. Don't count your eggs before they hatch, Andrew.
All right, let's go the 2 seed.
The Commissioners.
Yeah.
Another
much to talk about
bunch
here.
of scrubs.
I think I'm out. Yeah. After defending the title, I'm happy to be with a bye, especially CJ Stroud having a concussion, may not play this week. So I definitely need the time off for him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think on paper, this team looks pretty solid, but my running backs have just not been consistent at all. CeeDee Lamb's been my best player. Michael Pittman's had a high floor.
If CJ Stroud is out next week, who are you going to go get?
Yeah, are you looking to make any moves this week in preparation for next week?
God, let's look. I expect him to play. 1 week's about as much as concussion guys have really been out for. Gino's there. Gino is available, but then they got Tennessee in Week 16 and then Pittsburgh. Maybe I go Gino for the win.
The Tony Express dropped Goff.
Minnesota and then Dallas. No, let's just pick up Gino right now.
There it is.
We got a live ad.
Safety insurance. Yeah.
Another guy.
There it is.
At
I
work,
just
I
dropped
help him with his team. He's like, "Should I drop a quarterback? I don't need 2." And I was like, "This is the year you need 2."
The time of year.
You need it
that you
every
need
year
to.
in playoffs. Yeah, time of year.
Yeah.
There you go. Gino's on the squad now. I just dropped Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
You have a lot of faith in Gino.
I don't know.
I mean,
Drop Jerry
I like the
Jeudy,
matchups. I like
do
the
we even know
matchups.
if
Tennessee
Gino-
and Pittsburgh.
Is Gino going to be starting?
I'm not concerned. I don't really care. I feel like I'm playing free. I already have. You guys notice the shiny shit behind me? I got 2 of them. All right. You don't want me to win again?
You don't need more.
No, I'm good. But
All right.
I do want to.
It's it's an interesting energy coming from Tim, where he has this side of him where he's like, "I'm good, I'm content." We know you want to win it again, but you sound like you're a little down on your team right now. Be hyped.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's go. You
I've
got the
lost
bye.
2 in a row. I lost 2 in a row, and I still got this, and I still got the bye and the 2
Yeah.
seed.
How many weeks has Pacheco been out?
Just
Just
one.
one.
Okay.
He'll be back. It's like a shoulder contusion. I think if I'm healthy, I definitely have as good a shot as anyone. It's
There
going
you
to come
go.
down to matchups.
That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. If it's you and Andy in the championship, I for one am rooting for Kamish.
Yeah. No
To do the
first timer.
back-to-back. Nobody wants Andy to win,
No
especially
virgins.
with his fucking cocky attitude. We don't like that. You got to earn that. But hey, if he
Yeah.
wins, yeah. And Max loves him. Max loves the time you can talk on that guy. Keep going. Let's go to the.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
the
more
middle.
interested in the matchups. Yeah,
The
this
middle,
week. So
yeah.
somehow I've dogged on Collins' team all year. It's 9-5 with just as many wins, but man, his points for are just like abysmal. If he had lost, he could have been out. But he does catch a huge break kind of with Ramondre Stevenson being out. Zeke Elliott had like a 20-point game, and Zeke's now
a
getting all the carries.
27-point game, yeah.
Khalil Herbert still hurt. I don't know what the heck. Deontay Foreman. So who's Chicago's running back? He's got one or the other. I kind of like seeing that depending on the health of Herbert.
Mhm.
I think Foreman will play.
We've talked about his elite wide receivers all year. And then, of course, he has Mahomes. So it's a solid floor. Njoku has really emerged. Had a huge week last week, I think.
Mhm.
Last few weeks.
I mean, the thing about Collins' team is he has to put together 3 weeks of just like ceiling performances. And when you have Zeke and Dante Foreman, and even, I mean, Mahomes hasn't been as solid this year or as consistent, I would say. And a lot of his wide receivers like haven't been as consistent.
They don't have wide receivers. They have
Well,
Travis Kelce and
he's-
Jerick McKinnon.
And
Right.
I mean, he has Puka Nakua, who's been really solid. I mean, like incredibly solid, actually. Like 1,300 yards receiving for a rookie is insane.
Undrafted rookie.
Yeah, top 10 guy. And so he just kind of plays the matchups with him, St. Brown, Devontae Adams, and then it's been Keenan Allen as well. He's really had 4 like top 15
where is
guys
Keenan on his bench?
Keenan's out
yeah,
this week.
Keenan's out this week, and you probably wouldn't want to play him even if he was healthy until you see what happens at quarterback with no Herbert now. But yeah, and I mean, I've been a fan of his team all year, and it's because of the volume there at wide receiver where it can kind of cover up some blemishes at the running back spot.
2.5 number ones on that team.
Yeah.
It's
so
like,
I'm not surprised to see him in the playoffs. Big shout out to him for beating Camille last week because that's what got me in the playoffs. So way to go, Colin.
Bobby sneaks into the playoffs as well.
Yep.
With an 8-6 record.
And I remember when we had Bobby on about a month ago, a couple weeks ago, he was talking about his points for and how we felt that was an advantage. We agreed with him, and we said if it comes down to a tiebreaker at the end of the regular season, you got to feel good because your points for will be enough to get you in. Now, it turns out that of the 4 teams that were possible, 2 of them lost, 2 of them won, so it wasn't needed. But yeah, he squeaked it out. It was a good job.
And
McCaffrey has been solid. Mixon's been solid. Finally, he's got Rashee Rice in there. John Day Hopkins, the Titans are a weird one, but he is a number 1 wide receiver on a team. So it's decent volume. But his strength has been his running backs all year.
And
so this is big, and he's healthy. And, of course, he's got Tua, who's been solid in Miami.
Yeah. His specialty positions, too, have been pretty solid all year long as well.
TJ Watt, the Browns. Yep. Looks good.
Yeah.
I like Bobby's team.
I mean, you look at what he did last week. I think he put up 140 something, and that's because guys like DeAndre Hopkins. Yes, I agree they're hot and cold, but on the weeks that they're hot, it's like, holy shit. D-Hop had like 8 catches, over 140 yards and a touchdown last week or something.
Yeah.
Tua, McCaffrey, and Mixon have such high floors that like just when one of his wide receivers pops off, then like, okay, that's 140 points, probably a win.
Right.
Is Bobby due? How many years has he been in the league?
Let me
a
pull
great-
up the.
it's a great call.
The.
If you're looking for a dark
How about
horse-
this for Bobby? How about this for Bobby? Okay,
Okay.
he's been in the league 3-6. This is his 8th season.
Is this
First
current? I
year
know
was
Tim
in
was just tinkering.
2016.
Oh, this is current. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So 2023. He's made the playoffs the last 5 years in a row.
The only team that has.
Bobby, that's something
He's due,
interesting.
and he has a
Yeah,
losing
he also-
record.
Well,
Yeah, how
yeah,
does that
because
work?
look, he's
Well, 'cause the
he
first 3
started
years
with
were so
3,
bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
9, 9, and 10 for losses.
I did.
I
update
love
the
looking at
Collins
numbers.
NNL.
This is great. I'm glad you updated this.
Yeah, I had to put some asterisks, if you'll notice, in rows 6 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there's Bobby. Bobby, we were just saying 5 years in a row now making the playoffs. That's pretty incredible consistency. But it is odd that you are still with an overall losing record just because of those first 3 years. I'll have to double check the math on that because it just doesn't look right. But I guess his winning records, his losing records are really bad, but his winning records are like 1 game, 500, 2 games,
Yeah,
1 over.
scrappy. He's a self-proclaimed scrapper as well. He enjoys the scrap.
Gotcha. And then Lou, another guy who's got more playoff appearances than anyone, and he's now in the big dance again. He missed the playoffs last year, but he's back again this year. And Lou's kind of the hottest team, I think, coming into the playoffs besides Andy Stack. They've both won 4 games in a row.
Yeah,
Lamar has been
hot.
huge for him. His running backs that I've kind of criticized all year have really come through. Brees Hall had a big game. Rashad White has been so underrated.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill had a little bit of an injury, but was tough enough to stick it out. Yeah, look at
Tyreek
Rashad
average?
White.
What's Tyreek average points per game?
21.
21 and
Holy.
a half.
That's
Great,
crazy.
great first round pick there. Mike Evans, is pretty solid as well. Sometimes he has some. I don't think he had a good week last week, but he's number 7th ranked.
Yeah.
This might be the year.
Lou will get. We'll see
He's
what
got
happens with
Goddard
injury
now
reports.
back in the tight end spot.
Yeah, which
Zay Flowers is
stings.
a great flex, I think, rather than Nico Collins right now.
The Goddard play stings because I had to let him go once he got put on IR just for
I had
roster
drafted Zay
management
Flowers.
reasons. Yeah, and so now these two guys are. I mean, I'm gonna have to go against Goddard this week. We'll see if you have to end up going up against him in future weeks, but yeah.
I think it's Lou's year. I don't know if I'm going to mail him the belt because I just never know if that guy's even, responding or if I wouldn't have faith that he would send it back. I don't know if he even wants it. Probably just wants the money, I'm sure. He definitely get that, but Lou is like overdue to win this league. And then we've got
hold on. If Lou wins
Yeah.
the draft next year, we're all going to AZ for the draft.
if he wins the
going to
league, then
him.
we go to the draft. That'd
We
be
take
fun.
it to him, take the party to him. Yeah.
I'm sure he's telling us to get an Airbnb.
Just you.
Let's look. Just me. That's fine. I have it all to myself. I'm a light sleeper with your snoring ass. Scrap DeLorean, 8-6
Snuck
with a
in.
77-point victory last week.
Yeah.
To just
Did you sneak in or did Blaine bow out?
That was the
55 points. For
I know.
Blaine
Talk about a
last week.
pillow fight. Holy. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the matchup was a microcosm of my season. I don't know exactly how Blaine feels. I don't want to speak for him, but to limp in this way feels kind of fitting. But then also to see that now, like in the Hall of Records, I was 8-6. The last 3 weeks prior to my win that got me in, those were really tough matchups. I had to play against Tim, I played against Camille, and I played against Lewis. And each of you guys scored like over 300, I think 300 combined points against me. like each of you went over probably closer to 400. Each of you were over like 130 each week. And so that was really tough. And I knew that kind of put me behind the 8 ball, along with just like lineup changes that I had to make due to injuries, due to bye weeks. And so, yeah, I just kind of look back on the year, and now it's a whole new season. It's the playoffs. I don't feel any more confident than I did yesterday, and I won't feel any more confident tomorrow than I do now. But at the same time, I can look back at this year and at least say that, there were 6 teams under me, and I don't feel like a playoff team. But when I look at the 8-6 record, and I say, you know what, like anything could happen. And I've been to the ship 6 times, won it 4 times, and so I'm here again. So I don't know. I feel good about it. It was like a prove it year, I think, where losing Nick Chubb, first round draft pick, week 1. Yeah, I was kind of like I got a little disengaged and wasn't really feeling like, the waiver priority. I think I still have money left on my fab, which that's never happened before at the end of the year, where I haven't like blown it all because I'm making a bunch of moves. But here we are now.
You're empty.
Oh, I am empty? Oh, okay. I think that's because I just blew it all to get George Pickens a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, we'll see what happens now. Guys like Tajay Spears, who ended up with like almost 15 points last week, or 17 points, whatever it was. Like, I'm like, okay, guys who I've been holding on to all year, guys who I've believed in, Cortland Sutton. I'm excited. I'm excited that we're in the dance and we get a chance to maybe go off and upset somebody like Lewis in round 1. But I'm certainly not feeling like it's my year, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think this goes to show the power of Josh Allen in fantasy. Even though he's turned the ball over, just his pure volume, 300 points total, that just keeps you always with a fighting chance in a game. Just a low or a high floor. Travis Etienne, this is probably the best year he's had as a pro. Consistent volume. Healthy. So that's been another one that's just really helped. Although he is questionable this week with a tough matchup against Baltimore, it looks like. But
Sunday night,
those
he'll play.
Yeah, it'll be big. Wait, so do you play?
I play
Bobby
Lewis.
this week. You play Lou
I play
this
Lewis.
week.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Which I feel like we've matched up in the playoffs quite a bit. I mean, there's kind of like
the winner of you guys.
Yeah. There's been, if we went back to the Hall of Records, we could look at it. You said Lou's made the playoffs the most.
Yeah.
So I feel like, when I look at it, so this is now year 7 in the playoffs for me, year 8.
Over, I've updated the playoff column. If you scroll to the right. Offs column there. So you've made it 7, Lou's made it 8.
Okay.
And then me and Blaine and is that Nick? Someone else has made it 6 times.
So yeah, it kind of feels like,
Nick?
I feel like Lewis and I have had a lot of battles in the postseason just because of
No,
that. Let me count
Kessler.
this.
Wow.
1, 2, 3.
What are you looking at?
So the highlighted things, I see 8 highlighted seasons for me there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I didn't count the 2014.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
I don't know who else made the playoffs there.
Right. So yeah, it's well, we know I did though. So 8 years in the offs, same as Lou. I feel like we've battled a lot in the postseason, so I'm excited to see him again this week.
All right, who do we think? Do we want to make any predictions here?
Let's go. Shoot your shot. Who do you think's going to take it all?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of think it's going to be someone from that Bobby Colin matchup. I think whoever can come out of that game. When I look at teams that don't have a lot of red next to player names right now, I feel like those 2 teams are pretty healthy coming into the playoffs. Yeah. So, look at that. Who's there on the right? We only have 1 questionable person in each of these lineups. That's pretty solid.
I like,
and for the most part, they are the starters, especially Bobby's team, man. McCaffrey, D-Hop,
I
think
like Bobby's team a lot.
I think Bobby beats Colin, upsets the Andy stack, and finds himself in the championship
with a 50-50 shot
against like it's
Lou?
either going to be me or Lou.
Yeah.
I don't have you beating Lou this week.
No, and I mean, I don't either. I think the
Lou's been
projections are ridiculous. I think it's like a 24-point spread, which is like insane. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I need a miracle.
You just
Yeah,
got to be thankful you
absolutely.
didn't fall into the bottom
without a
bracket.
question mark.
Exactly. And believe me, Morgan, I am. But no, shout out to guys, you know, like Cortland Sutton, and who just kind of kept, obviously Josh Allen, but guys who just kind of like kept plugging along and stayed
Hey.
mediocre enough to like help me get a couple of dubs. Yeah.
It's a consistent floor.
All
Well,
right, let's go to the bracket. Well, okay, so we're kind of predicting what? Morgan, you on board with that? Because I kind of agree with Tim. I think maybe a Bobby
Bobby Lou
Tim
champ.
a Bobby Lou champ or a Bobby Tim champ.
no one wants to pick Andy.
Nah.
No,
Can't do it.
a Bobby Lou championship with
Bobby
Bobby
Lou.
winning it all.
I mean, Andy, his team has scored the most points over the year, but it all comes down to one big
It's one
matchup,
game.
and like,
Yeah. It'll be interesting. So last year, I think
Bobby
I had a bye
Lou
last
championship. Is it Bobby's year? I'm predicting Lou overall.
I'm predicting Bobby.
Tim, I know we think we each had buys last year. And I know I'm always of the mindset if I have a buy where I move everybody to my bench because I don't want to know like what would have happened, just because it's like a psyche thing where I'm like, oh shit, if I would have played this week, my team only put up 83 or whatever. So are you still gonna set a lineup and just see what they are? Are you moving?
Yeah, I
are
like
you
to keep
giving
them
everybody
fresh,
a traditional, an actual bye week?
I
No,
keep
okay.
them fresh and see. I might. Quarterback situation is definitely one to monitor. It's not like Gino's very healthy either. But yeah, I kind of like to see
what you would.
It's a wake up call. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the other
is.
side of the
Skunk
bracket.
bracket.
Now, this is arguably
people really care
much more entertaining. much more entertaining.
So I always tell people, like, it's not about winning the championship. It's not about being the skunk.
Yeah, it's about not being last place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can we just shout out Camille? The guy was
What a
1-5 or no 1-6, I think.
Yeah.
He was 1-6 and then came all the way back, was in position to make the playoffs, and misses out with a 7-7 record.
Yeah. Tough.
Jalen Hurts, Jalen Waddle, Hawkinson, Jamar Chase.
Got a good
He
team.
spent the $100 on Jerome Ford. David Montgomery's had a hell of a year. He hustled this year, coming back from a 1-6 start. And even if he just won one more game, he had like the tiebreaker on points for as well. But unfortunately, he finds himself in the first round of the skunk bracket against a team that only scored 55 points last week. And this team, I'd love to hear blame. This team's like scrambled eggs to me.
Or I think I had below 55, maybe.
I think you got a 49 maybe earlier in the year.
Morgan, you would know that. I wouldn't know.
I'm looking it up. I don't know about 49, but I think 54.
This lineup doesn't look too bad. I don't know how this team scores 55 points.
I had a
but
58.
it did apparently.
Oh damn! So it was
58. Okay.
so
Wow,
55
55 might have been.
Oof.
He's putting his best foot forward here, but Keaton Mitchell has that been a split backfield? What's going on with Keaton Mitchell in Baltimore? He's not really.
Lamar's the running
doing
back for
much.
that team. Like Keaton Mitchell will go off, and
Yeah,
he's touchdown dependent. If he
Which
gets
is
one of his
just
less
like
than
Justice
10
Hill,
carries a game.
Yeah.
just like Gus Edwards.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why don't we got Stephon Diggs in there?
Well, look at
Playing
him last
Dallas?
week. I think he had, I don't know, Stefan's a little been boomer bust too recently in the
4
last month.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like he's somebody that you just kind of have to play. Jacoby Myers has like kind of been this under the radar wide receiver for him all year. James Conner,
Back healthy, tons of touches.
Josh Jacobs not healthy.
He's fallen on dark times.
Yeah, it's just kind of inconsistent. I just feel like it's been whack-a-mole with him. He just can't quite land the diamonds in the rough that he usually does.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of star power here.
Is Kincaid on IR? Is that what I just saw?
No,
he could be
Kincaid's
coming
there. Christian
back
Kirk's
this week.
on.
Oh, he's got a questionable take. Kirk's in
Yeah.
IR. Okay.
Yeah.
Whew. Had a dynasty panic moment there for a minute.
I
Camille's
think
gonna
we all
win.
know that like Camille should win. He deserves to win after this year. You predict Camille, I'll predict Camille as well. And then I would just hate to see something terrible happen to Camille and he finds himself worrying in 2 weeks or something. Let's just get that win out of the way for him. I think he's more, his team deserves to win more than whatever the hell's on who was Tank Bigsby's roster. And what a fitting name,
What
you
are
draft
the
Tank Bigsby, you
projections
kind of
out?
deserve this.
What are the projections at right now? Okay, pretty split.
Big
Yeah,
spread.
pretty split. Yeah. Yeah, hard not to go kind of like Lewis and I's matchup, right? When the spread's that many.
Yeah.
Hard not to lean that way towards the favorite.
Tank Bigsby could tank to the Skunk Bowl.
It could.
Wow.
He definitely could.
I mean, without a tank on the starting lineup,
The magic's gone. Is that what you're saying?
yes.
The elf is off the shelf. Oh no.
Let's go to the 9 and 10 seed here. Kef and Leg, and these are guys that found themselves squaring off in the championship a few years ago.
Yeah.
Now they're squaring off in the first round and very similar squads, both projected at 116 this week. Wow, Matt Rock and Jake Browning.
I mean, these are guys that when I look at their rosters and everything I still say about my team, I stand by. I'm proud of them. Scrapped it out, but I'm like, how are neither of these two teams sitting in the playoffs and I'm in the skunk bracket right now? I just don't know.
Just on paper.
On paper, yeah.
Derrick Henry, AJ Brown.
Look at the names. The names everywhere. Tony Pollard, James Cook, Deebo Samuel, Garrett Wilson. These guys have been Sam Laporta. These guys have been solid all year long.
Looking at this matchup here, I think I got Kefler winning. Matt hasn't been worried, but I think Matt needs to sweat a little bit because.
Well, didn't Matt have Justin Herbert?
He did.
And,
yes.
Yeah. Matt's definitely got to be sweating.
Yeah, I got Kefler in this one as well too. I don't know. The 116 might be a little unobtainable there for Leg.
I mean, odds are one of these guys will be in the skunk.
You think so?
I don't know. We haven't gotten.
I don't know, man.
You got to win 2 games.
That's not how odds work.
I think it's pretty clear. There's two teams that are pretty clearly.
I can tell you the final 4 who will be in the skunk bowl.
Okay.
We're already okay.
All right.
4 teams don't go into the skunk bowl.
The semifinal, I can tell you who it'll be. It'll be me and Max by default because we both have to win 2 games.
Correct. Yeah.
Or me and Derek. Yeah. Sorry, Max isn't in the league anymore. He's a quitter. And then Blaine and Matt.
Blaine and Matt. Yeah, I think that's a fair 4 bottom there.
Yeah.
And I will say it'll be the loser of Matt and I and the winner of Max and Blaine. Or the loser of Max and Blaine.
Let's look at the 11th and 12th teams. Let's look at the spotlight are really on these guys now. Everyone's going to be watching them more than any other games. Just see the 2 and 12 Chunderella story and
this was the
3 and 11 Crystal Lake Truckers.
This
Here
was
he
the
is.
skunk bowl last year. Oh, here's the GM.
I'm just looking at
owner. I'm the goddamn owner.
You're the owner. Cade Otten. Ooh, Justin Jefferson is
You're the
finally
owner.
back.
Did you
Is he
put the money
playing?
up?
Well,
was that, Tim?
JJ came back last week, and
Yeah,
then
he got hurt in the
chest
game,
contusion.
went out.
Yeah, but he's saying he's questionable, and then he's going to try and play this week.
Oh, great. Wonderful. What a waste of a pick. I can't wait to get him off the team.
See, is he going to be a never
Yeah,
again
number one
guy for you,
overall.
Max?
Never again. He's
That's
a never again guy.
insane to say.
Can we look at Dak Prescott?
Yeah.
Well, he's probably up to
Wow,
like
I've been
the
a
yeah.
hater of
Yeah,
Dak
drafted
Prescott
and
for
let
many,
go.
many
I've made
years.
some boneheaded moves.
But I will say, Dak Prescott
great.
is a good fantasy football quarterback.
Okay, let's look at this though. In the
Yeah,
playoffs,
solid.
assuming you get to the championship, you have him at home against Detroit. That's great. But the next 2 weeks to get you 2 wins
Tough.
that you
Buffalo
Tough.
tough
and Miami on the road.
Yeah, tough.
But, if the Cowboys want to be taken for real, they got to win those games. And if you're going to win those games, you got to put the ball in CD Lamb's hands, which means it has to leave Dak's hands to get to CD's hands.
Do you
Yeah,
believe
That's
in
how
the
passing
formula-
works. That is how. Yes.
It's been the formula all year.
Well,
Yeah, interesting. Interesting. Jalen Warren, huh? Jameer Gibbs. Devin Achane.
It's just that this is the time of year where
actually think
What do you think, Tim?
this is the time of year where that red gets real scary. That's a lot of red in the starting lineup. I have it as well this week. I have like 3 guys questionable, and that's why I'm
we see
lowered
the bench?
expectations.
Yeah, let's see.
Listen, Singletary might find his way up.
I mean, Chun's got Kelsey.
Morgan's healthy right now.
Morgan is healthy.
DK's playing
And
well.
he's got-
Tough
he's
matchup
got-
against
If
Philly.
Morgan had
Firepower,
balls
man.
of steel, if Morgan had balls of steel, he'd start Drake London because I traded him to him. But I know he's got little softballs.
Odell's been my guy.
Big week last week for
Yeah.
Drake
Huge week.
London, man. Huge week. And he's playing Carolina. That's not bad. I mean, Odell, what is Odell doing?
Carolina's has the 5th
Besides,
least yards thrown on him.
5th.
Because everyone
Okay.
just runs the ball against
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
What's Brock Purdy's position ranking on the year?
5.
Give this man his flowers.
5th.
Insane. System
Yeah.
quarterback. I
He's
don't
really
care
proved
what
it
you
over the last
say.
month.
Yeah.
Really proved it over the last month.
This is almost like the
Especially against Philadelphia. Jesus.
on the road.
5
This is
wins
almost
between
like your
them. Jesus. Yeah.
I want to point out if I played Max's schedule, I would be 6-8.
Oh, here we go. If
Wow.
ifs and buts,
You
were
love
candy
doing
and
that.
nuts, we
Chun
all have
loves
too much
going
to
that.
eat.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he had an easy schedule and he still.
You
only
like
won
living
3
in a
games.
multi-universe, all right? We don't live in that universe.
I'm just saying I'd be 1 game shy of making the playoffs if I had his
He's
schedule.
Ant-Man in the Quantum Mania.
Meaning you still would not have made the playoffs and you'd still be in this similar position. I think on paper here, I do like Chun's team. Kelsey and DK alone
Yeah.
are, I mean, even Bijan Robinson hasn't been lived up to his first round pick status, but he does get volume.
He's
he
a
hasn't
top
been
8
that bad.
running
He's a
back.
top 10. Yeah, top 10 running back here.
And they should
is
be able to
better
move the
than
ball
you can
against
say-
Carolina. Like what we were just
better
talking
than you
about.
can say against Gibbs or Warren. Chain's kind of an anomaly. He's not healthy. He splits with Mostert. They got a tough matchup against the Jets. It's a wash at the quarterback spot. If Justin Jefferson's just not healthy and they don't have Kirk Cousins, he's just not going to be the same player the rest of the year. He's not going to save the team. Yeah, I got Chun getting 1 win here.
I do too. I think Morgan's halfway home. He keeps getting away with it year after year.
Then I just got to beat Blaine in the the hurt team.
And that could happen. I mean,
I
Blaine's
know.
team looks terrible.
It could be-
I can't wait. This is going to be my favorite weekend to
Yeah.
watch. Like,
This
I
could be
love
Blaine
the
and
week we
Derek in
just
the
had
Skunk
because it's
Bowl.
always fun. It could be. Like last
John,
week was
you
fun
wanna
because
put
all the like
anything,
playoff
on this
implications,
game?
but this is
Never.
This is great.
You guys might.
No.
The thing is, you guys might play each
If
other.
the
again.
Evan,
You could play each other again. Whoever wins this matchup,
And
if you lose again round 2,
yeah,
and the other person, even if they win, they're going to be back in the last place game. So there's actually, you want to talk about odds, there's actually
Let's
a
go
high
back to the
probability you play
bracket.
each other again. Yeah. I like this because it has the little tabs
Yeah,
at the
okay,
bottom.
so it does. Yeah, it tells us who we play here. So this is I feel like every year we have to like redo the math. So winner goes to game C5, which is in the middle there. Loser to C6. So I mean, Blaine really does have to like lose 2 in a row.
yeah.
Because even if he loses, he still goes to 5, and then he loses again, then he'll go to C9. So okay, so Sean, let's say you win, go to game 5, you win again, you're in game 7, you're good. But if you lose the next game,
I'm
you're
back in
back.
it. Both me and Derek have to win 2 games.
But this is what always changes. Whoever is what we forget.
Yeah.
You may only need 1 win. You can lose this week, but if you win the next week, what does it say? Loser goes to game C6. So the winner of next week will go to 8 and will avoid the C9. And it could lose the third week. So next week's that game right there at the bottom, that's actually the key one. Yep. Where you only really have to win 1 technically.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that part
kind
is
of
true.
That's
That
John.
part is
That's
true.
how you can. That's how you can weasel out.
But that would require. But
that would require Camille or Blaine losing 2 in a row.
And that means you lose this week too. You don't want to just start your playoff, your consolation bracket by losing. Like
no.
You want to get that first dub. No, you can do it.
C6.
I already beat Derek once.
Yeah, well, you beat him this week. You're still not safe because then you'd have to win again next week. So this first game doesn't really matter for either of you guys because regardless, you're still gonna have to win. This is like a preview game. Doesn't matter at all.
It's the repeat of the Skunk Bowl last year. And I mean, I've been in the Skunk Bowl 2 years in a row and won.
If Chun and I end up in the Skunk game 2 years in a row, that's a rivalry.
Tim, we need a new co-host. That's what that means. These guys don't know what they're talking about.
No, they balance it out. You know, it's good to have the loser's perspective as well as the winner's perspective.
Why is Max saying we? He sold his team.
I hired someone to do the weekly matchup.
Oh, you had a poor hire. Look what it got you.
Season's not over.
That's why you don't outsource.
Still evaluating.
Why do you keep popping in and out? Where are you going?
Yeah. Okay, so we have that, and then also next week when we come back, we will have the awards. So Tim, the awards that we give out every year, do you have a tracker for those too? I think you do, right?
I do in the Hall of Records. So we always have an award for injury bugged, the team that we give a consolation prize to acknowledge that, yeah, their team was probably the most affected by injuries and affected their season the most. Then we have best draft, which you want to win that one. The team that probably made the least amount of moves, got the most wins just based off the players they drafted. Then we have the waiver wire award. So teams that not were just super active, but really found those diamonds in the rough. I would say like Kefler's always up there, and I'm thinking of Sam Laporta. That was a good pick.
Yep.
Max used to shoot up there by just making how many picks? 100?
Making a lot of moves. Yeah, I mean, I'm someone who's made a lot of moves. I think Camille makes the most moves.
Who had the most moves this year?
Kamish.
We'll definitely have that info next
Camille.
week.
Yeah.
Kamish, sir,
yes.
Royal sir. suggestion. If you could make
Suggestion.
column A fixed, then when I
Oh,
scroll to the right,
absolutely. God,
Thank you.
you're brilliant.
Yep.
You are brilliant.
carry on.
If only I could figure out how to do that real quick.
So click on the
I-
column you want to lock, and then go to.
We don't have to
view,
do it on the air.
edit,
We don't have to do it on the air. Just
and
turn
then
it-
Is it
freeze pane.
Freeze
Freeze pane.
Jeez,
You
Morgan, do you
edit
work
the
with
pane.
spreadsheets at all at
Freeze
work or
one
something?
Click
There
on
we
the
go. I
column.
fixed it. I fixed
There
it.
you go.
Nice. Okay, so injury, best
okay,
draft,
so
waiver wire.
Injury, best draft, waiver wire, and then comeback team. So that's a team that is, if they were the skunk the previous year and then come back to make the playoffs, or even a team. I think
That
Camille's
started
team
1
would be a
and 6.
good. Started 1-6 and then came back. So it's either
Yeah.
coming back from last year's failures or overcome some adversity within this same year. And then of course MOTY is manager of the year, which is kind of a combination of the last three and just who made the most efficient moves as well. So a little bit subjective there, but I think it just recognizes teams that were consistent all year and making their lineups and paying attention on the waiver wire and adjusting to injuries as they could. So
Yep.
typically, an 11-3 team might be nominated for that one.
Right.
We'll see. So those would be we'll look for the nominations next year during the semifinal week. And
That's kind of cool that
excited
it looks like there's a few managers who haven't won any awards, but for the most part, everyone's picked up at least one. Blaine's been a popular.
Ozzy and Stunna haven't won anything. Colin hasn't won anything. Red's never won, and Bobby's never won.
Red's
Yeah.
never gonna win. He's not in the league.
Yeah, I might can we change? Let's just change Red to Andy.
That's probably a good call. That still catches all.
Yeah. So there you have it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm excited for this
nominations
next
to come.
week. Nominations to come next week. Good luck to everyone.
It's been a
We've
pleasure.
got some predictions off the onset here. We're predicting a Bobby or Lou to win it all. No one thinks that Andy Stack's going to do it. And then for Skunks, we like Blaine. We like Max/Derek. And of course, Chun's always got to be a favorite to lose too.
Everybody always cheers against me, but it never happens.
Never does.
Never works,
I
dude.
don't really think I cheer against you. I don't think I cheer against you.
Last year we definitely did. I'll say
No,
that.
you didn't.
But this year I don't know. This year I don't know. It's nothing personal. All right. Any other
crazy week this week, I will just say, right? We have 3 Saturday games, is that correct?
Yep. Thursday
Yeah,
game.
so-
Is it this
Saturday.
week?
I think so.
Do we
yeah.
want to
So
talk
set
about the
those lineups.
Seahawks?
Oh,
Tough.
Do we
holy-
even want to talk about these Seahawks? We've lost 4 weeks in a row and just look pathetic.
Well, you know what? Let's give ourselves a little bit of credit because I don't think you have to be some football mastermind. But I mean, like a month ago, we said this next stretch of games, like whenever it was Thanksgiving, I think, or maybe the week before that, leading
knew.
up through like New Year's Eve was going to be
We knew.
really tough. We knew, yeah.
I thought Drew Lock looked okay. But ultimately, I like that Pete is calling out players on the defense. I mean, golly, Jamal is just that guy needs humility.
He needs
It's
to
all-
play linebacker, D line.
Yeah, he's exposed every time in coverage. It's tough to watch. So I mean, we actually heard Pete being more critical and calling these players out, which is uncharacteristic of him. But he's
Mhm.
basically saying we're coaching as much as we can, and these guys just aren't following through. So some people are kind of alluding to the fact that maybe Pete, maybe his time's up, and maybe he's just
No.
not responding. I don't know what you guys think of that.
Not at all. I think it's a mix of the players and I mean, you have Jamal Adams dropping back in coverage. Since day one in the NFL with Jamal, we've all known he can't cover for shit. He is a in-the-box safety.
He's a thumper,
Yeah.
not a ball hawk.
Why are we having to
One-dimensional.
cover tight ends?
Yeah,
Like,
he's
he just needs to
one-dimensional.
cover the flat.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's
I did-
disappointing.
Game, Alex?
What's that?
Are you going to the game?
No. Once they
No?
changed it to Monday night, I couldn't go then. I'm still at school. Holiday break doesn't start until the 20th. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer. I really wanted to see. I mean, go Hawks, but like I really wanted to see Jalen in person in the Eagles play live. That'd be really fun.
That's on
Yeah,
Monday night,
I do think that I really appreciated Greg Olson's play calling. He was like the color commentator on last week's broadcast, and I thought he was doing a really good job of explaining how we kind of had that like free roamer there, and it seemed to be working there, where we would take everything. The defense was designed to try to take everything outside the numbers and funnel it to the inside, and then it was just on our guys to make the tackles, and then that's what you heard Pete end up talking about. And for the most part, they did a good job there in the first like quarter or so, when they were still able to like hang in the game, and then just like one too many missed tackles. And guys, San Francisco, Shanahan, of course, is going to adapt and figure out what we were doing to kind of stifle them there to begin with. And that's probably the most skilled group that will. I know that's with Philly coming into town with guys like AJ Brown and everyone else, but like that's about as good of a skill group as there is in the NFL, the 49ers. And at least I feel like there's some good stuff there on tape that they can at least say like half step faster here, or just like keep your look at where you're hitting, don't arm tackle, like follow through on the tackle
this time than they did the first time they played
Definitely.
the 49ers. So
definitely.
So here's the thing. We're all kind of worked up like Seattle's lost 4 in a row. The Eagles have lost 2 in a row. They're pissed off too.
That's true. And despite losing 4 in a row, I think that they're out of the play. The Seahawks are out of the playoff picture right now, but they're still only like a game back. They're like in the hunt. They don't control their own destiny anymore, but they're only a game back. So much like myself, they could find themselves bottom seed in the playoffs still.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll talk about it more next week after they play Philly. But that is it. Congrats to the teams that's made the playoffs. Good luck to those who have not. Keep setting your lineups, folks.
See ya.
Peace.